heartbreaking situation with my dad, and I kept him with me until a few days before he died, and it was one of the worst experiences I've ever seen, just to have somebody lose. Well, you lose them, and they're still alive, but you've lost them.
Yeah, and the thing is that there's a lot of reasons we know why that happens and what happens to people, but it's a long way away from being even acceptable, a lot of what's being done with the people. We could catch it very early and stop it, but it's not easy to have doctors be involved on anti-aging, which has to do with the brain, and giving supplements and certain types of things that go to work on the brain and the whole body that help stop the fast progression of this. But anyway, I think what you're doing is fantastic. It's really, really exciting. I love it that your background is in finance and raising money. You've obviously done an impeccable job with other companies. What was it, 16 companies? About 16 companies? Or?
It's something like that. It wasn't quite that high. I had my hands in getting more than that funded, though.
That's extraordinary. And you're also the author of a venture capital handbook, How the Rich Get Richer with Quiet Private Investments. Did you say quiet private investments?
Right, yeah.
Is that called below the radar investments?
Below the radar, right.
Uh-huh.
But the book I'm most proud of is Life Extension Express, Kim, and that's the book that explains how and why we're going to be able to see age-reversing technologies in our lifetime. And the other part of the book tells what we can do to keep ourselves alive and healthy. And I have 7 steps people can take and should be taking to increase their odds of being alive when these technologies are developed. And we're pointing to 2029, and like you said, this is based on whether people are going to be able to take advantage of these technologies whenever they're developed. You're going to be sometimes and possibly up to the whim of the agencies, the regulatory agencies. There's no guarantee we'll have these technologies developed by 2029. There's a slight possibility it could be sooner. There's a great possibility it could be later. Yeah, a lot of it depends, and most of it depends on us raising the money we need. And it's not a great amount of money, by the way.
What are you raising? What exactly are you raising?
Roughly about $2 billion plus another $1 billion for another technology called SENS strategy for engineering negligible senescence.
What is that? What is that?
Aubrey de Grey. That's basically Aubrey de Grey is one of the premier advocates. He's a gerontologist of life extension and theoretician, and he's come up with a strategy. Actually, it came out of our first conference, the Maximum Life Foundation's first conference, but he's come up with a very famous strategy to repair the damage that aging has done. And he's recognized the fact that it's a lot easier to repair the damage, at least now, than it is to stop the damage from happening in the first place. Biochemistry is an extremely complex subject, and there's so much more that we don't know than we do know about it, and it's going to be a long time before we completely understand our biochemistry. But we do understand that it leads to a lot of damage, and by taking an engineering approach to this damage, Aubrey's come up with ways to reverse that damage, and believes he'll be able to reverse the aging in a mouse. I say within 8 to 9 years now, and humans would be again, depending on regulatory agencies and money, it would be sometime beyond that.
But how does he see doing it? I'm just curious, since you're mentioning it.
It's like restoring, and there are several ways to do it, and stem cells are one way to do it. Cleaning up the mitochondria is another way to do it. He's got several steps, in fact, coincidentally, 7 steps on how to do that as well. But it's basically, a good analogy is restoring a human body the same way you would restore a car or a building if it hasn't gone into a complete state of disrepair. We know we can keep cars. We've seen we have classic cars that we see up and down the highways all during shows and all the time that are 50, 60, 80, 90 years old, and they still run very, very well because they've been completely restored. And of course, people are always and constantly restoring and remodeling homes and buildings and so forth. And there's no reason why you couldn't extend the economic life of these things almost indefinitely, as long as you keep after them and keep maintaining them and fixing the damage that's taken place. Aubrey has come up with ways to do the same thing for the human body or any body.
Is it available now to us?
No, it's not available now. That's the $1 billion challenge. And the budget is about $1 billion to be able to prove that capability. But bits and pieces of it are starting to manifest themselves, and it's interesting. We'll be able to. We've got ways now to go in and possibly repair the mitochondria, make it more. Mitochondria are the energy power plants in your cells.
Indeed.
And ways to go in and make them more efficient and clean up some of the damage and some of the junk that is gumming up the works. That's one of the programs. That's one of the projects.
That would be great, because that could get us into a mode to be able to do the 25, if necessary, year wait.
Well, exactly. And
that's the key. This is, I heard about you through the Life Extension Foundation in Florida, who I interviewed a few weeks ago. They did a piece on you, and I was like, wow. And so it would seem to me that whatever we can do right now to buy the extra 25 years, depending upon how old the people are listening to this. I'm 50. I want to be here. I want to be part of what's next. I also want to facilitate it.
Yes, we have to. We have to facilitate it if we wanted to make it happen in our lifetimes, Kim. And what's interesting is if we're looking toward a concept called longevity escape velocity, where it's analogous to the gravitational escape velocity. When you reach a certain speed, you can escape the gravitational pull of, in this case, the Earth or any celestial body. But we have a concept called the longevity escape velocity, where we'll be able to add at least one more year to an average person's lifespan every calendar year. And that means as you age, the date of your projected death will keep moving away from you rather than you closing in on it. And we see ourselves being able to add more than 1 year every calendar year to a person's age. It almost doesn't matter how old the person is, young, middle-aged, or old. We think we can be able to do that within 15 years. So that doesn't guarantee you're going to be around for age reversal, but it's a good indication that you should really start taking care of yourselves now to be around at least 15 years from now.
What do you take in the day-to-day? And then after we discuss this, I want to talk to you about the whole population issue, just to spend a few minutes on it, because it's very important for people's psyche to get clarity about it. I noticed you wrote about it also as one of your facts that was answered, but we'll get to that. What do you take today, if it's not too private, to take care of yourself and make sure that you yourself can be present for this incredible occasion?
Well, I do a number of things which I outline in my book. In fact, I do them all. And one of them is diet. I follow very strict dietary guidelines, which, by the way, is an enjoyable way to eat. I find that I enjoy my food just as much as most people who chow down pizza and mashed potatoes and chips. It's an enjoyable way to eat, but I stick pretty closely to lots of vegetables, either raw or lightly steamed. I do eat some whole grains, not a lot. No white flour, nothing white. Well, cauliflower white, but if you stay away from almost all white things: sugar, pasta, white bread, all baked goods. I stay away from red meat. My red meat is ostrich.
Ostrich. Wow.
I'm not a vegetarian. I eat poultry and fish, organic meat when I get it, organic vegetables and fruits. It goes on and on, but I follow pretty strict dietary guidelines, and I take lots of supplements. I know Ray Kurzweil takes over 200 pills a day. I don't take that many, but I do take about 60, and not 60 different things. I know, for example, 9 of those is Life Extension Foundation's multivitamin, if you take 9 of those a day. So I don't take 60 different things, but I take 60 pills roughly a day. I exercise every day, 6 days a week.